Every smart woman begins her journey with one powerful decision, to own who she is. That is where everything starts. The world will always have opinions, expectations, and definitions ready for you. It will tell you how to speak, how to act, and how to dream. But the truth is, the moment you let others define you, you lose the power that was already yours. The first rule of becoming unstoppable is knowing who you are, not who they think you should be. When you understand your worth, when you recognize your voice, when you stop apologizing for existing too loudly or shining too brightly, you step into your true strength. Owning your identity means embracing every part of yourself, your ambition, your flaws, your fire, and your grace. It means realizing that confidence is not arrogance, it's clarity. Clarity about what you stand for, what you will tolerate, and what you refuse to compromise. Too many people mistake silence for strength, but the strongest women are not silent, they are intentional. They choose when to speak, how to act, and what to walk away from. That is the mark of a woman who knows herself. She doesn't chase validation because she's already validated by her own purpose. When you live in alignment with your identity, you stop competing and start leading. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel because you understand that your timing, your path, and your calling are unique. The world might tell you to blend in, to soften your edges, to be more likable. But the truth is, your edges are what make you powerful. Your authenticity is your advantage. You were not meant to fit into a mold. You were meant to break it. Smart women don't waste energy trying to be everything to everyone. They focus on being true to themselves. They understand that rejection is not a reflection of their inadequacy, but of their direction. Every no becomes redirection towards something better aligned with their purpose. Every setback becomes fuel for the next breakthrough. You don't need everyone to understand you. You need to understand yourself. When you know who you are, you can walk into any room and own it without saying a word. Being unstoppable doesn't mean being perfect. It means being unapologetically authentic. It means showing up even when you doubt yourself. It means reminding yourself again and again that your voice matters, your vision matters, your life matters. The most powerful women are not the loudest or the most visible. They are the most self-aware. They live with intention, act with conviction, and speak with purpose. So if you want to become unstoppable, start here. Start by owning your identity. Start by silencing the noise and listening to your inner voice, the one that knows exactly who you are and what you are capable of. Because when you own who you are, no one else can define you. And when you stop trying to fit in, you begin to stand out. The moment you embrace your truth, the world has no choice but to recognize your power. Every smart woman knows that to become unstoppable, she must first learn to see beyond what is and imagine what can be. Vision is not just about setting goals, it's about creating a picture of a future that doesn't exist yet, and having the courage to believe in it before anyone else does. The difference between those who drift and those who lead is vision. When you have vision, you don't wait for opportunities, you create them. You don't need certainty, you need conviction. The world belongs to those who can see possibility in the middle of impossibility. Vision is the engine of purpose. It keeps you moving when things get hard, when doubts creep in, and when others can't see what you see. The most successful women aren't driven by external rewards. They are driven by an internal fire that refuses to settle. They understand that everything great begins as an idea, a seed planted in the soil of faith, watered by persistence and grown by relentless action. Vision gives meaning to the struggle, direction to your effort, and strength to your endurance. Without it, even hard work becomes hollow. Thinking beyond limits requires courage. It demands that you challenge the boundaries society sets for you, the expectations, the stereotypes, the invisible ceiling. A visionary woman asks, "Why not me?" And "What if I could?" She doesn't allow fear to make her small. She uses it as fuel. Every time someone tells her she can't, she turns it into a reason to prove that she can. She knows that the people who once said impossible are now living in the world built by those who ignored them. Vision also means seeing yourself differently. Stop viewing yourself through the lens of limitation. You are not too late, too inexperienced, or too anything. You are exactly where you need to be to start. Great things rarely come from comfort zones. They come from the willingness to dream bigger and step boldly. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the path to it. Every setback is simply feedback. Every obstacle is a lesson disguised as resistance. The woman who wins is the one who keeps her eyes on the destination even when the road gets rough. Curiosity fuels vision. Never stop learning, never stop growing. Read more, ask more, explore more. The more you expose your mind to new ideas, the wider your perspective becomes. Smart women understand that knowledge expands potential. They know that each experience, whether good or bad, adds another piece to the puzzle of their purpose. Vision is not just about seeing far, it's about seeing clearly, right where you are, and recognizing that every step forward matters. So dare to dream beyond the limits. Let your imagination be your blueprint, your belief be your foundation, and your persistence be your builder. Because if your dreams don't scare you a little, they're not big enough. Every great achievement started as someone's wild idea. Maybe your idea is next. Believe in it, nurture it, protect it, because the world changes when a woman with vision decides to act. The third rule every smart woman lives by is mastering her emotions, because mastery of self is mastery of life. The truth is, no one can lead others until they learn to lead themselves. The ability to stay grounded when everything around you feels uncertain is one of the most powerful skills you can ever develop. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will challenge your patience, your confidence, and your peace. But an unstoppable woman doesn't crumble under pressure. She centers herself in it. She knows that her reaction defines her power. Emotional discipline is not about suppressing what you feel, it's about directing it. It's the art of feeling deeply yet responding wisely. When you learn to master your emotions, you stop being a prisoner to circumstances. You stop letting temporary feelings dictate permanent decisions. You begin to realize that peace is a form of power and composure is a silent weapon. The woman who can stay calm when others panic, who can think clearly when emotions run high, becomes unstoppable, not because she is cold, but because she is in control. She chooses her battles carefully, not out of fear but out of focus. She knows that every reaction costs energy, and she spends hers wisely. Emotional mastery also means refusing to let other people's chaos become your confusion. You don't have to absorb everything you encounter. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every opinion requires validation. And not every problem needs your participation. Smart women understand the difference between reacting to prove a point and responding to protect their peace. They know that sometimes silence is the loudest answer. Every time you choose composure over chaos, you strengthen your power. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. It's not just about routines and habits. It's about consistency in character. It's doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up for your goals when motivation fades. It's showing up with integrity when no one is watching. Smart women don't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect timing. They move with purpose, regardless of how they feel. They know that emotions are visitors, not dictators. Feel them, acknowledge them, but don't let them drive your decisions. When you master your emotions, you also master your energy. You learn when to push forward and when to pause. You become intentional about what deserves your attention and what doesn't. You stop chasing things that drain you, and you start protecting the peace that sustains you. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. Emotional control is not about denying your feelings. It's about directing your focus toward what truly matters. It's realizing that you can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond to it. The woman who learns this becomes untouchable, not because life gets easier, but because she gets stronger. Her strength is quiet but unshakable, her presence calm but commanding. She doesn't need to prove her power, it's written in the way she carries herself. The world will test your patience, your confidence, and your resolve, but when you choose mastery over reaction, you rise above it all. That's the essence of being unstoppable. Every smart woman knows that the standards she sets become the boundaries that protect her peace, her energy, and her destiny. The fourth rule of being unstoppable is learning to demand excellence, not approval. It's about understanding that you set the tone for how the world treats you. When you carry yourself with self-respect, you silently teach others how to treat you. You cannot expect to attract excellence if you constantly accept mediocrity. You cannot ask for loyalty if you tolerate disrespect. Smart women know that high standards are not about arrogance, they're about alignment. They refuse to shrink to fit into places where their worth is questioned. They would rather walk alone in truth than be surrounded by people who only value their silence. Having standards means you hold yourself accountable first. You don't ask more from others than you are willing to give. You lead by example. Excellence starts within. It's in the way you show up, in the quality of your work, in the integrity of your word. Smart women understand that the smallest habits shape the biggest outcomes. They know that discipline builds confidence, and that consistency builds credibility. They don't chase validation because they already operate from a place of self-trust. Approval is fleeting, but integrity lasts. When you live by standards instead of seeking approval, you stop trying to please everyone. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. You stop waiting for permission to be extraordinary. Approval-based living keeps you small. Standard-based living makes you strong. Every time you lower your standards to keep someone close, you distance yourself from your potential. Every time you compromise your values to gain acceptance, you lose a piece of your authenticity. The truth is, you can't be unstoppable and dependent on approval at the same time. You must choose one, and the women who choose to live by their standards, not the opinions of others, are the ones who rise the highest. Excellence doesn't mean perfection. It means intention. It means giving your best effort, not because someone is watching, but because it's who you are. Smart women don't chase outcomes, they focus on mastery. They understand that their reputation is built in private long before it's recognized in public. They stay grounded in purpose and keep their circle aligned with their values. They don't entertain gossip, drama, or negativity because they know their energy is too valuable to waste. Standards are not about exclusion, they are about elevation. When you hold yourself to a higher standard, you naturally inspire others to rise too. Respect over attention, that's the mindset of an unstoppable woman. She knows that being liked is temporary, but being respected is timeless. She doesn't need to be the loudest voice in the room. Her consistency speaks louder than any words ever could. She doesn't demand validation. She commands respect through her presence, her discipline, and her results. So hold your standards high. Never apologize for expecting honesty, consistency, or excellence. You attract what you believe you deserve, so believe in your worth fully. Because the moment you decide to stop settling, you become a woman the world can no longer overlook. Every smart woman understands that true power is not about control, it's about contribution. The final rule of becoming unstoppable is to live with purpose and to lift others as you rise. Success means very little if it ends with you. The women who change the world are the ones who understand that empowerment multiplies when it's shared. They don't climb the ladder just to stand at the top. They reach back to pull others up. They know that legacy is not built through titles or possessions, but through the impact they leave on people's lives. When you use your voice to inspire, your time to teach, and your strength to support others, you create a ripple effect that lasts far beyond your presence. Living with purpose means knowing why you do what you do. It means choosing meaning over motion. Too often, people chase success without ever asking themselves, what is this all for? But a smart woman doesn't just work hard. She works intentionally. Every decision, every project, every goal aligns with something deeper inside her. She understands that fulfillment doesn't come from applause or recognition. It comes from living in alignment with her values. She doesn't need to prove her worth because she lives her worth every day through her actions. Purpose is not a destination. It's a direction, a daily choice to live in a way that matters. Unstoppable women also know that strength is not about standing alone. It's about building others up and rising together. They celebrate other women's wins without envy because they know that someone else's success doesn't diminish their own. Collaboration is their power. They share knowledge, open doors, and create space for others to shine. That kind of leadership doesn't just elevate individuals, it transforms communities. A woman who leads with generosity becomes a force of change because her success becomes a bridge for others to cross. Legacy is what remains after the applause fades and the spotlight moves on. It's the lessons you teach, the people you inspire, and the lives you touch simply by being authentic. The most powerful legacy you can leave is the example of courage, integrity, and compassion. When you live with purpose, you stop chasing temporary highs and start creating lasting meaning. You stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" You realize that true greatness isn't measured by what you accumulate, but by what you contribute. Being unstoppable isn't about perfection or power, it's about purpose, passion, and persistence. It's about showing up every day with the intention to grow, to serve, and to lead with heart. When you rise, rise with grace. When you lead, lead with vision. When you succeed, bring others with you. Because the world doesn't need more people who chase success for themselves. It needs more women who are willing to build something that outlives them. So choose to live with purpose, choose to lift others, choose to be the woman who doesn't just win, but the one who helps everyone else believe they can too. That is how you become truly unstoppable.